welcome to my channel. Today I've got a really basic, easy makeup tutorial for you, so let's get started. We're still in summer, even though autumn is slowly coming closer, which I'm so happy about. I love autumn. But anyways, yeah, in summer it is usually warm and I don't want to make a huge amount of effort at my makeup. But when I go somewhere I still sort of want to look cute, you know. So yeah, that's what we're going for today, and we're just going to start off with an eye primer as usual. First off, we're just going to use 3 brushes. Not in this order actually. Wait, are you seeing them correctly now, or I never know. Anyway, we're going to start off with this one, and then we're going to move on to this one, and then lastly we'll use this one. That's it for today, and I'm also going to use the Naked... I'm not just going to wipe the brushes over my eyelids, obviously. I'm also going to use the eyeshadows from the Naked Wild West palette, because it has some really gorgeous warm nudes. They are perfect for the kind of vibe that I want to go for. Eyelid, I'm actually starting off with this brush, and at first I'm just going to put a shade of, well, it's a very pale warm nude shade. Just slightly darker than my skin, and I'm just putting it in the crease both to set the base. Why is the sun disappearing? Both to set the base and also just to make blending easier for the colors that I'm going to apply after this. By the way, I'm using warm shades, but by all means, if you are a cool toned person, use cool tones. Just use whatever suits your undertones, because you know, you might just look like you have eye irritation if you are a completely cool toned person and then suddenly go for warm shades. I have it the opposite way. Like, since I colored my hair red, it actually balances out, so I can use cool tones. But before I did that, if I used cool tones, I would just look as if I had been dead for like a couple of years. Which is not ideal. I mean, technically then I would have had to look like a skull. You know what I mean. I didn't look healthy with cool tones. So yeah, by all means, just cater it to your own undertones, just to make sure that the look actually looks good on you. Now we're gonna darken it up a little bit, for which I am going to use the smaller blending brush and sort of a warm burnt caramel sort of color. If you're using the same palette, I'm using Ghost Town. And I'm mainly focusing it on the outer corner, just layering it up a little bit. And then I'm just going to blend it. And there's basically 2 reasons I'm using a smaller brush. It's because I want to keep this color more localized. I don't want this to go all over the eyelid. I want this to stay within the boundaries of the first shade, the paler shade. And also because this brush is more dense, so while this brush just sort of like blended the color on, it keeps getting darker. Why? Anyway, it's too bright now? I'm not sure. Anyway. I'll fix it in editing. But yeah, point being, when I apply color with this brush, it really blends it out immediately while I apply it, so it gives more of a sheen of color. Whereas with this particular brush, it really does put the color on there. Like you can tell, it's a lot more deep and vibrant and opaque than the color I used before this was. And that's not because the color was less opaque, it's because of the brush. And actually a third reason is that this brush is just really good to blend with. Yeah, I'm just basically going to go over the edges until everything is completely smooth like it is on the other side. Now for the moving eyelid, if you're using the same palette, I'm using the shade Standoff. If you're not using the same palette, I'm using a very pale nude shade that has a little teeny tiny bit of shimmer in it. And I'm just applying it over the moving eyelid. Except for like right at this like edge there, the border between the 2 shades, because there I'm going to use the shade Spur, which is the shade that I put in the crease at first. Just to make sure that everything gets nice and blended there. No harsh edges. And I'm just making sure that the exact outer corner is dark enough, so I'm putting a little bit of the darker shade there. Basically just perfecting the entire play of colors on the moving eyelid. Then the brow bone highlight, I'm going to do that in the same nude shade. Now next up, I'm just going to blend it first with the more dense brush, the border between the crease and the brow bone highlight, I mean. And once I'm just pleased with that, I'm also going to go over it with the big fluffer blender just to make sure it's as perfect as I can possibly get it. I always feel like with this sort of look, if it's very simple, you really want to make sure it's blended well, because there's not a lot of detail to distract from the blending, you know. So you want it to be perfect, because mistakes are going to be very noticeable. Anyway, I'm also putting a nude pencil on my waterline. This might seem like a weird time to already do that, but I know myself and I always forget this step, so I'm just going to do it now while I thought of it. Yeah, next up I'm going to do an eyeliner, just a small winged eyeliner. I'm going to use brown because I'm very, very pale. So it looks more natural on me. If you have darker skin or very dark hair, it might actually look better to do black liner. But, you know, just look at your own face and make a decision. Now, next up I'm going to use a highlight. I'm just starting on my cupid's bow here. And I'm using this first because I'm going to use a jelly highlight. Now, I prefer to use a brush with this because even though it's a jelly and it's not, you know, completely cream, it's still a Liquide E product. I just don't want to get my germs all into it. So, yep. I'm just going to use a brush for hygiene's sake and just carefully pat it onto my skin where I want to highlight. So, it's going to be my cupid's bow. Cheekbones and a bit on my nose. And then some concealer. I've also this time actually done an outfit to go with this look. Basically just because I feel like, especially in summertime, I don't like wearing trousers. Like, I have to at work. I just really prefer wearing looser dresses, because then at least you don't have fabric clinging against your legs, being all warm and annoying and sweaty. Because it really annoys me. So yeah, I just went for something very lightweight. So in my case that basically meant a frilly dress that I'm pretty sure I bought it on vacation. But let me put it this way, it looked cool on the hanger. But I'm quite tall and on me it looks like more of a frilly nightgown than an actual dress. So yeah, it's been hanging in my closet for like at least 5 years. But now I finally have a use of it. Because it does actually work very, very well as an underdress for more vintage outfits. And the upper layer, this thing that is just a sort of like a pull over, the toss over dress, yeah. That I bought of Top Vintage about a couple of months ago, so I'm pretty sure they still sell it. And what I love about it is how versatile it is. You can also pull off the top part and just wear it as a skirt. And also, because of the color and because of the fabric, you can wear it in summer over, you know, frilly dresses. Or you can just put a sweater beneath it and wear it in autumn and winter. Like, it's great, I love this thing. So yeah, and all together it makes for a very nice summer outfit. By the way, I'm only actually putting my powder where I want to be bright. Just because I am going to use a darker powder foundation as a bit of a very soft, gentle contour. And that won't really grab onto my skin if I already have powder there, obviously. And the final result is sort of like my skin but better. Except for the eyebrows, which are very, very pale. So I'm just going to fill those in real quick. I'm also going to keep my brows very natural by using a very ancient powder that I'm pretty sure they don't actually sell anymore. You could also use an eyeshadow. The reason though I'm using a powder is just because, like I said, I want to go for something very effortless and natural. And I feel like powder is perfect for that, because you can just sort of create a shadow behind your eyebrow hairs instead of really, really pointedly drawing them in. So the entire effect just looks very, very soft. Do make sure that even if you're using a very soft powder, to still fade it out towards the center of the face, just because even with a very soft powder you're still going to get a blocky eyebrow if you're not careful. Wow, there's clouds outside and the lighting keeps changing and it's really annoying. Why can't the weather just behave like I want it to? Anyway, but yeah, like unless you're into blocky eyebrows, but I'm currently not, so I'm going to go for the more faded look. Then just forcing the eyebrow hairs in place with some brow gel. Then, next up we're on to eyelashes. You could curl your eyelashes first, but I don't have to because I sleep with a sleeping mask on these days. Because it makes my eyelashes be pushed into place while I sleep. Which is ideal because I'm very lazy and this way I can just skip an entire step in my makeup routine and it's so nice. Anyway, I'm going to use a black mascara. Admittedly, I think it's quite often it's prettier to just use a brown mascara when you've used brown eyeliner. However, I don't have a brown mascara. It's very inconvenient. So I'm going to use black instead. But if you want, you can totally use brown. Okay, so I didn't put eyeshadow beneath my eyes. I did actually put mascara on my lower lashes so we get this nice and hairy result. That didn't sound like a positive thing. Okay, pretend I didn't say that. This nice fluffy result, maybe? Yeah. You could totally add falsies if you want, but I prefer it this way for a natural look. But as always, do as you want. Then a nude lipstick. Well, actually a nude lip pencil. I recently bought this and I really want to try it out. But also, I want nude lips, but I do want defined lips. So the lip pencil is really going to help with that. This is exactly what I meant. Despite it being a very nude color, the before and the after are quite different. And then for the glow we're also going to apply a little bit of gloss. And the face is complete. Just some setting spray and we're fully done. And we're left with the final results. Now about my bangs, I did the vintage 50s bumper bangs the lazy way. And the lazy way is I just pull the front bit of my bangs together and then put one of these clips in it. If you want to do it a more true vintage style that is like actually, you know, more broad, then you can use 2 bobby pins, one per side. But I didn't do this out of a vintage style this time. I did it mostly because it is a way to still have bangs, but to not have bangs on your forehead. Because if it's very warm, it'll just get sweaty and you'll be left not with pretty bangs, but with sweaty strands of hair in your face. Or at least that's what always happens to me, and I'd like to prevent that. So I just went for my lazy bumper bangs, basically. Yeah, anyway, about the makeup, I really hope you enjoyed watching it. I really hope it was useful to you. If you want to know exactly what products I've used, I'll put it below in the video description as always. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. It would really help me out because it makes YouTube suggest my videos more often to new people. And if you don't want to miss any of my future videos and you're not subscribed yet, then you can always subscribe. Yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Again, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope to see you next time. Bye!